Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is George Uman and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about Chainsaw Man chapter 187. So, what do you think about this week's chapter? To be completely frank with you guys, I thought this week's chapter was awesome. I thought it was very jam-packed with action, as well as we get to see more of, Denji's big brain and how he's trying to deal with the Agent Devil, because up to this point in the story, we've known that the Agent Devil will be a big hurdle to overcome, and we see definitely how hard it is, because we see Denji throughout the chapter trying to figure out ways to defeat it, and it seems towards the end of the chapter, eventually Denji figures out a way to be able to outmatch the Agent Devil. At least in my opinion, that's what I portrayed at the final panel of the chapter. Now, before I go any further with this week's chapter, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all my anime and manga, as well as all my Chainsaw Man content that I'm providing in this channel. It really helps out a lot, and I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you guys could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into this week's chapter. So this week's chapter starts off pretty much how we left that last time, which was pretty much the Agent Devil confronting Pochita, and Pochita like being, right in front of the Agent Devil as the Pochita, the Denji's hard thing. And we see that right off the get-go, you see the Agent Devil being like, all right, guys, stomp that thing. And you see the Agent Devil just kind of sitting crisscross like this. And we see that, the Agent Devil is just like vibing. He doesn't really care, because, he's using all these people, these humans, as, collateral damage. Any damage that he would take, instead, they take instead. So that way he's kind of immune to it. And we see that pretty much, many people theorize, and I myself even said this, pretty much Pochita's plan last chapter was to get up close, and then as Denji keeps eating all this blood and healing, you will eventually see this little heart Pochita become once again the main 100% Chainsaw Man Devil. And we see that that's what happens, and he starts wrecking the Agent Devil, and he like slices him to bits and all that, and it was pretty cool. This chapter had a lot of good panels, man. Like the paneling and the action scenes were awesome. You just see like guts and everything splattered everywhere. Typical gore from Fujimoto when it comes to any big battle involving Denji and Pochita. And as that's happening, we see that the people are just taking the damage for the Agent Devil, and the Agent Devil is really not, it doesn't seem like he really cares too much about being cut into bits and pieces, because at one point even he kind of grabs Pochita and like just puts his finger out. He's like telling him like, you guys, you can't beat me. Like, no matter how hard you try, you really can't beat me, and at least not with the power you have right now. So, let me show you how foolish and pointless it is. And he proceeds to pretty much turn Pochita into a tree. And, it seems like he aged Pochita so much that it would eventually become a tree or something like that, because we see Pochita eventually start becoming, like a trunk, like a big piece of wood. You see branches coming out of him, and it kind of immobilizes him for a bit. And that's where Denji's like, hey, all right, enough of this. I gotta go do my thing, because Pochita's been, compromised right now. So I gotta go and eat another tree. And as he's eating this tree, I guess he eventually finishes the tree. He's like, oh man, like I finished eating this tree, I gotta eat another one, because I obviously gotta keep going. I gotta keep making sure that Pochita keeps healing over and over and over again. And I finished one of this tree, so I gotta go to another one. And as he proceeds to start going towards heading the way of another tree, to devour it and eat it and consume it so Pochita can heal, this is where the guy that has been in this realm, the one that introduced Asa and Denji to it, he interrupts Denji. He's like, hey, stop that, kid. That's not cool. And he's like, listen, these people have been trees for like a millennia. They, accepted their fate. They've just been vibing, being one with the ground and all this. And, you haven't even been here for 20 years. You're not even 20 years old, all right? And what makes you think that you can just, like, go in there and kill them and, eat them for your own enjoyment? Like, this is not right. You should not be doing that. And this is where eventually Denji pulls out his little axe thing that Asa gave him. And he's like, yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? Because I'm eating them for a good cause. Like, I'm eating them with gusto. Denji with the big vocabulary right there, with a gusto. And we see that he's like, I'm eating them for a purpose. I'm not wasting their life. I'm doing it to, defeat this Agent Devil. So he proceeds to continue cutting this person, this tree person, and consuming like his blood, so Pochita could gain health once again and regenerate. And that's exactly what happens, because we see as Denji starts eating this thing. And one thing to note, it was very funny. The guy that introduced Asa and Denji to the world, he's like, oh my god, this guy is like, he's a real devil. And you're like, oh, okay. And you see this great paneling of Denji and Pochita being next to each other as the panels. They're right, one above is Denji, the other one's above Pochita. Pretty much, I think my interpretation of this paneling was pretty much embodiment, like, yeah, Denji is Pochita and Pochita is Denji. To some regard, they merge into one individual, hence why, he called Denji a devil. I know that might be a little reach, or maybe just because Denji's a wild card. Either way, I thought it was a nice way to panel that scene, so props to Fujimoto. And what we see after that is pretty much what I explained earlier, where, as Denji heals Pochita once again, Pochita wrecks shop. Like, Pochita starts slicing the agent devil once again, and it felt like, honestly, reading this chapter, it just felt kind of like battling somebody with like cheat codes where like they just always regenerate, because like it's like instantly, like, Pochita's slicing this thing over and over and over, but it doesn't matter how hard, this thing just keeps regenerating. Or more like actually the Infinity Devil. It was giving more like the Infinity Devil arc vibes, where Denji kept slicing this thing over and over, but nothing really was happening. Eventually, he had to make the Infinity Devil pretty much give up on its own life because he knew that the pain was too much. But this does not seem to be the case this time around. The Agent Devil is a much more powerful companion, as well as a more powerful devil, in my opinion. So I think that this won't be that much of an easier fight. And what we see is, like I said, Pochita's just slicing him over and over, and nothing's really happening. Cool paneling though, like I said, Pochita's just wrecking shop, and I love seeing these panels. The guts everywhere, and pretty much how we start nearing towards the end of the chapter is where we see this scene where pretty much you see Denji, because the agent devil's like, hey man, like just give it up, like you can't really harm me, like why don't you just consume me, bro? Like, it would be so much faster if you just consume me and, just eat me, bro. Like, please, I'm begging you. And you see Pochita being like, Denji eventually starts getting full, because he's like, oh, my belly's about to burst. Like, I'm eating so much. And he tells Pochita something interesting, which he proceeds to say is like, hey, Pochita, listen, just keep going. Don't worry about me. However, barf. I need you to barf because, I need to keep healing. And as well as, you never know, if I barf, a useful devil might show up. And what does that exactly mean? Who knows? But it was very interesting to see that the chapter ends in a note where you see Denji telling Pochita to throw like a devil out, and what devil might possibly come out of it, who knows? Because from the story that we know, the devils that he has consumed has been the snow one, which he already threw up. I believe it was the octopus, and the other ones that Yoshida, the contracts, I think he ate those devils. But I'm thinking if maybe we get introduced to another devil, devil that he ate many long time ago. Maybe one of those devils that, like, who knows, like a nuclear weapon or something, who knows? Which that would be nuts if Denji just opens Pandora's box and just starts spawning all these, terrible things to the world, like a hydrogen bomb or something like that. I think that would be overkill. All right. But I'm very interested to see and curious to see what devils are going to come out now, because some safe options would be, like I said, we already saw the snow devil come out. Would it be like the octopus devil, the ear devil? But he did throw up the ear devil, so I don't think will it be a devil that he has already like eaten, like that we've seen in the story, or will it be somebody new? Let me know in the comment section, because I'm very curious what you guys think. Is it going to be a devil that we haven't been presented to up to this point in the story, or will it be one that we already saw throughout part 1 and part 2 that he has eaten? Because I'm very curious. But overall, I thought this chapter was really good in the sense that it was just an action-packed chapter. We get all this build-up, and now we get this big fight, and it seems like this Agent Devil's not budging 1 inch, and it's gonna be giving Denji and Pochita a very hard time. And like I said, I'm interested in seeing how they deal with it, because right now, yeah, I myself am thinking like, what? How do you defeat this thing? Because he just keeps taking hits like over and over and over. Now, he's not really harming Pochita that much. However, eventually Pochita will get tired and, exhaust all its resources. So I'm wondering, is it going to be a battle of just like non-stop stamina, like who gives up their stamina first? But if that's the case, I don't know. I'm very curious to see how this fight plays out and who ends up being the victor. I mean, we know it's going to be Denji, obviously, and Pochita, but I wonder how they're going to go around and defeating the Agent Devil. Big brain Denji's on the case, so who knows? But with all that being said, what did you guys think about this week's chapter? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it was alright? Whatever you guys thought, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Chainsaw Man, as well as more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.